keeping care of my life? What is that? How is it that we can live in a day and age when people are so willing to hand off their accountability, hand off everything, and sit back knowing that they are going to be victimized? Not because the government has some nefarious plan to victimize everyone, but that it is the natural order of things when you give your accountability away. I know for me, I enjoy life as a not victim. What would
that word look like?
What would be a word for not victim? As an accountable person who I'm able to account for my results and my beingness. Okay. I certainly am not sitting around here. I'm not the guy that's suing McDonald's for hot coffee spilling in my lap.
Wait, what did he order?
I don't know. He ordered like a Big Mac and somehow sued them for spilling coffee in their lap. And I know this is an old story, but as far as I know, Ronald McDonald did not come out and dump a carafe of hot coffee in this guy's lap. Okay? I believe well, now I think the cup says very hot, but before it was a mystery. Coffee's hot? What?
Depends on the day.
That's true. Today, iced coffee day. It is hotter than hell. Okay? And the studio's not much better.
Right.
Okay? So I'm just unclear as to how the results of the 90s bank failure did not. I don't care that the government was stupid enough to let this happen again. What I'm concerned about is that citizens let this happen again. And, here I am, 35 years old. Wait, I'm not 35.
No, you're not.
I don't even look 35. I look good.
Yes, you do.
I'm 30. How old am I?
You're 33.
33, yes. Okay, I will be 35 at some point when you hear this broadcast. Maybe you're hearing it as like a golden oldies, but I'm 33, thank you. I'm 33. I don't remember the SNL thing, so I can definitely see someone wanting to blame ignorance. Okay, but we've learned that there is more. We are accountable to more than just sitting back and letting the government take care of it.
Or have we?
Well, based on results, we haven't. Because look at where we are. I mean, thankfully, the banks I'm involved with are not failing. They are acquiring other banks that are failing. But I don't have all my eggs in that basket. I certainly don't expect that if my bank fails that I'm going to go and ask the government to fix the problem that I just didn't care to see coming. Which, by the way, if we were to continue along this vein, there was another story this week that it says, this is from the Houston Chronicle. Cindy George wrote it on the 29th. Greater role urged for feds in disasters. Katrina report concludes state's burden is too large. Well, duh. Because, again, here we are, another situation in which the populace sat back and expected the government to have a plan. I remember when I was growing up, it was a big thing for us because I'm from California. So it was always about emergency preparedness plan. If there's an earthquake, my family always knew where we go. How do we get there? Who to call? We all had a call-in person. We were all going to call into this one place. Anyways, it was a whole plan. And I assume there must have been people in New Orleans that had disaster plans and what have you. It was a devastating event that just swept the city and surprised everyone. And yet here we are years later, was it 4 years later? And we're all sitting back still wanting to blame the government. And even better, a coalition, a group of people was organized to bring service and to assist the victims in Houston, thus the article. And their answer, that what this coalition came up with, was go and blame the government some more. That was their plan.
Good plan.
Yeah, I love it. More of the same, right? So here they've got this. Let's see. Right now, they're bitching about the fact that a federal law gives states the primary responsibility for disaster response. And this group of people wants to not make it the state. They want to make it the federal government. Because that worked out so well before. Rather than having the government have a little bit of a say in a state issue, let's give them all the say. And let that 4 or 5 day lapse of getting water to the Superdome, let's let that become 10. So how about rather than putting all of our accountability eggs in the lap of the government, the furthest possible entity from the person, from the individual, how about we take a look at what do we do as communities? What do we do as families, as an individual? Where, you tell me, Melissa, when it comes to an emergency, who do you expect to handle your emergency situation?
I expect myself.
So if you're having a heart attack in your house, are you expecting your congressman to call 911 for you?
Orrin Hatch better call 911.
He will. He'll probably sing a song about the eagles soar. You know, that good old piece that he did. So I just don't get how ultimately, yes, there are disasters and situations that are bigger than the individual can handle.
I just really think a lot of people are stuck in that mentality of I let my head do something different for me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable. I don't know the decisions to make that it would take to make something different.
Well, no, I totally get that, because ultimately I get that humanity as a whole is trained to think that they are stupid, that they are incapable without someone else. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the whole, all the caste systems and the stratified government that we've had, all the way from England with the serfs and the noblemen and all that stuff. It's all about saying you're not good enough without me handling it, and you get to pay me taxes in gratitude for the ways in which I protect you. And it's so pervasive over time that here we are, centuries later, still expecting the government to do what's best for us instead of us do what's best for us. I don't get it. It's like when I lived in Los Angeles, and there's people who live up against the hills that always seem to catch on fire and then slide down the mountain into the ocean. People keep moving there. And then when it happens, they expect the government to fix their house.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see this coming.
I could not have guessed that this mountain that's burned and slid into the ocean 6 times already this year could possibly do it again. And yet, government, come and pay for my house to slide down the mountain. Insurance. So then they're surprised when insurance doesn't want to insure houses on the Malibu coast. I wouldn't. And then people are upset. Well, yeah, my insurance company wouldn't give me insurance to live here, but I wanted to live here anyways. Okay, well then congratulations. You are the owner of a house that's slowly floating to Mexico. It's great. Congratulations. I just don't get the mentality of the government doing something for us that we can't do ourselves. In fact, you know that the Cash for Clunkers program, the government's calling it a success. Consumer expenditures went up by 0.2%. And it just finished this week. And they're so proud of themselves that they want to do cash for clunker appliances or whatever. In fact, I was reading a story about it. Let's see if I can give some sort of citation about it. Annie's shin. I don't know if that's a person or a body part. The article...
Sounds painful.
It does. The article is Consumer Spending Rises in July, but Consumer Sentiment Slips. So they're spending more money, but they're sad about it. Mom, I'm spending money and I'm so depressed. Maybe they're buying antidepressants. So maybe that's how. But the point of this was that here the government used tax money to incentivize people to buy cars by giving them a rebate. Now, what I find laughable about this is that people can't put the two pieces together, that they are getting their own money back as a rebate.
They're distracted by the shiny thing.
Yes, the car, the new car, and they think that they're getting a good deal. They're getting rid of an old car, buying a new car with a government incentive that is their own money, but not even the value of the money that they paid in taxes. It's less valuable. Why does someone think that the government should be responsible for doling out that money? What would happen if instead of taxes, or instead of the exorbitant taxes that are paid, what if they had just given the money back? All that money that went to the Cars Cash for Clunkers program, what if that just got back to the people and they got to spend it on what they want? Because I got news for you. I didn't buy a new car.
Me neither.
Okay, I didn't get my tax refund in the shape of a Cash for Clunkers voucher.